I'm not drunk. Not for you.
I'm not
So
drunk either. Ooh, baby. Hey guys. Welcome to a surprise and delight episode of Black Girl Charmed. I am. Ooh, the migraines are trying to win, but my determination to get this episode out is just so powerful. So I'm here fighting for y'all. I'm your soldier, Ray, joined by my co-host.
Robin Dixon.
I really do not want you to speak that evil on you. How
All
dare
right.
you? That is wicked.
I am Andy. What would it be
And
like to be a white, rich gay man?
he has the tiki saki,
He
and
does.
he does. And every so often, you'll see like a glimpse into Andy.
Hmm.
Them
I don't
kids.
know if I want that.
Them kids. He spent how many years dealing with these housewives and they kids to then be like, oh my God, kids are hard? Wow, shocker. Somebody alert the media. Oh, wait, I'm the media. Hello, guys. It's
Do
hard to
you
have
think he had a
children.
kid because his bestie had a kid, the silver fox?
No, I think he genuinely wanted a kid. I think,
I don't
like,
know why. As somebody who has kids. Oh my gosh! So we were at work today and we were doing what's it called? Like a get to know me, and it was like a they did like an online spinny thing, and it was like the one thing that makes sure what did I get landed on? The one thing that makes your day better. And somebody was like, "Your kids," and I was like, and then I realized maybe I should just go with that because no,
don't be the
no,
weirdo. Don't be the
I
weirdo.
know. Look, guys, when you have a teenager and a terrible two, I'm fighting for my life out here. Fighting for my life. I told him it was night night, and he told me no, it was not. He said you night night.
Are you
And
like
I said
jerking off your straw? What does that sound?
I was sticking. So you have to keep that in for the video.
But you can.
I'll edit it out for the audio.
Oh man, I wonder who are, that minute difference between video and audio. I wonder if people are just like, what happened in that minute? What did you
What
say?
happened? What did you do?
Yeah. uh, I was explaining over the weekend that it's so hard sometimes to not come in after you're editing a joke and just coming in on the because everything before the
It's
yeah
gone.
is gone.
It's so long.
And you know what, this is a season 1 to season 3 look back, and if you've been with us since day 1, look at us editing ourselves, shorter episodes.
I would be
And
like, oh my God, there's so much and I can't take it out. How do I make it sure? We're doing good.
you know, round of applause, round of applause.
Round of
Oh,
applause for us.
you know what? I'll actually throw in a round of applause because I believe Riverside allows you to do that. I can't wait until I'm like Marquise, who has his whole studio and a whole team. I'm so proud of you, and I want to be like you when I grow up.
Season 3 had me fighting for my life.
Yeah, I thought after coming off of season 2, We were like, oh, here, we here. Okay. We know what happens
Hmm.
at the end of the season. No, we definitely were like, okay, we know what happens at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We remember it fondly. Season two was
It
a
was all over the
fugue
place.
was a fugue state. Call it Walter White. I don't know what happened there. Oh, you didn't
Andy
watch
died.
Breaking Bad. That was season
Mm.
one.
Have I completely erased season two from my?
Exactly. See, if you watched Breaking Bad, that would have made sense. Ah!
What the fuck happened to season two?
So
Wait, oh, so
season
what was the
two
season two finale?
season
Oh,
two
all right, that was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right.
You see, that's why nobody
That's,
remembers season two. Season two is
that
just like,
started your Leo rant. Yes,
oh
yes.
my god.
Andy dying was oh so long. I feel like it was just yesterday.
Because they made her fucking suck that shit up immediately. He came back with her tan and was like, "You still crying over that man?"
Over that cop. We don't cry over cops, bitch.
And this is why we're never gonna get picked up because they're like, "Yo, nah, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, nah." You know, I take that back because the Bodega Boys in their prime. The Bodega Boys in their fucking prime. If y'all can handle Jesus and Mero in their fucking prime, y'all can handle us. Fuck that shit. And we actually like each other from day one.
I just, I was sitting here thinking, right? You know, you
Mm-hmm.
reflect over the season. I was thinking, what was the highlight of the season for me? And it was a struggle because it's not necessarily a plot point that was a highlight. But I would say that, like, short point that we had Evil Phoebe and she was going to fuck Balthazar, that was, which goes to show you how
Ooh.
great the
Yeah.
season was, if that was the
Honest,
highlight for me.
I will say this because one of us has to be the nerd. I'll be the nerd.
Okay.
Hold on. Where's baby? Oh, there's baby.
Oh, Lord.
Look, man. If I'm gonna nerd out, might as well fully nerd out.
Fully nerd out.
Um, I will say I like the swings they took in season three. They really were in their bag creatively. We got the fairy episode. To this day, steers are sobering is in my dialect. So like, can I be mad? Prue being in her, it's all about a me bag creatively. I wasted so much time trying to turn Jack into a fuck buddy when I could have just continued not having sex.
Right. It's just,
Like, exactly. Season two gives us Jack. And of course, we want to black that out.
I'm so afraid
Um,
to do Supernatural or to do anything else because I look fondly back on those shows. Like I've looked fondly back on Charmed. And maybe Supernatural will be different because I watched that about a year ago. 2 years now? Jesus, I have a 2 year old. That's crazy. I watched it about 2 years ago.
mm-hmm,
But we watched Charmed, or I did before I started this. I watched
mm-hmm.
Charmed almost every morning. So I don't know why this time around I just don't like Phoebe.
It's because everybody that I know who has watched Charmed, anybody that I've seen talked about it who still holds on to it the same way we did. Where we're getting ready for work, we're gonna throw on TNT. So we're just watching it for the highlights because you're not fully watching it when you're doing your hair or your makeup. You're not fully watching it when it's on TNT in the morning, unless you're unemployed or you're watching it for a podcast. You're not really watching it for the plot and the substance. Uh, um,
Okay.
for the years, the decades that we've been watching it, but when you like have to sit down with it, it's it's no good.
It's
And
no good at all.
yeah, and and I don't mean that. I mean
In a
stories.
bad way.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
mean that
you
in a
know.
bad way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to clear it up because oh my god, I I don't want this to be the like the episode that pops and they're just like, well, if you don't like the show, why are you doing the podcast? As you
Right,
know,
right.
they're
I
wanting to do.
still I still like the show.
Yeah.
I just see it differently now. And I do want to before we even move forward. So uh not every episode, but some episodes we have polls or questions at the end of it. And so last week's poll was which sister should have died. It was mostly Phoebe. But somebody said Piper. And if that is you, I need you to email us and tell us why.
You
Nobody
know,
said Prue. I
because they saw that TikTok where Shannon was like, well, Shannon and Holly were talking about what if somebody else died and I don't remember who, and she had to deal with Paige, and she was just like, Shannon, to her credit, said she would be happy to deal with Paige
yeah.
because Paige would have allowed her to be in her. Paige would have fully supported her in her photography journey. She wouldn't have thrown a camera at her. That Paige wouldn't have. Paige, Paige, because Paige would have supported her her photography. She would make very specific jokes like, "That's why the shading in that photo was actually trash. I told you not to worry about it, but you definitely should." Or, it's surprising that we can actually see the product with all the glare in this photo. Yikes. Yeah,
Wow.
that's a kind of like remarks Paige would have done because she would have fully supported her art enough to mock it smartly, which Prue would have, appreciated even though she would have hated it. But we miss out on that. And that's
Yeah.
why nobody says Prue.
What was your lowest point of the season?
Phoebe. Her storyline is so depressing. Like, yes. Do they have amazing chemistry? Yes. Do Was the love story successful? Yes. But this wasn't a show about the love between man and woman. It was the love between sisters and their bond. And I can't say nothing nice about Leo right now, so I'm gonna leave him alone. But I mean, you know what? I got it. At least he didn't try to kill them for 6 months.
I mean, he did want her to move out at one point to break, which would have, I believe, lowered the power of three.
Honestly, I don't. He didn't really want her to move out. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. My stomach started growling, and it started just being. If you hear that on the mic,
I don't hear anything. It was fine.
it's fine. It just went from like, "Yo, feed me." Anyway, damn, my stomach just threw me off track. Yeah, Leo was just going with the flow when it came because Piper was running the show with that whole move out, and was he wasn't against it, but he wasn't for it. Like either way, he was.
I'm not even talking about the move out episode. Do you remember the episode where the demon was stuck and the pastor had taken his powers, and they were
Yes.
driving to the location, and
Mm-hmm.
Leo was, I don't understand why you guys always have to do everything together, blah 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 blah.
But he's been saying that there's so many episodes where he says that.
I know, I know.
And
I would have to say the lowest point would be Phoebe for me too. And in almost disappointing as well because
yes.
I was a Phoebe lover. And I still think as we move forward, I'm gonna enjoy some of her storylines.
Oh, season 4 pops. I've done the pre-pro. I've done all the like the YouTube title screens. I've done literally every episode of season 4, every kind of like content for that already.
You said
And just
that last season.
yes. But long live the queen.
How can I trust you?
Long live the queen. I know you hate it. I know you hate it. I know you hate it. But storytelling wise, we get Phoebe tapping into her evil side is where she shines. They should have,
It is where she shines. It is where she shines.
and
I
they
will give you
had the
that.
groundwork from here. That's why Phoebe is the disappointing part of season 4. I mean season 3, because you have the groundwork here for that arc. Because I mean, yeah, the groundwork is here too anyway. Yeah, I guess. Either way, it'd have been better like sisterly story rise. But this girl really abandoned her sisters in in the middle of a mission to be like, well, y'all handled the assassin who came to kill us and actually almost killed you both. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go downstairs and get some dick, maybe sit on it, you know. It's always a little better when it's funky.
It's always a little better when it tastes like sulfur. What are you talking about? What are you doing? I
You tell okay. Mm. When she gets down there and they have their like loving embrace and they make out, you telling me his breath smell good?
what is wrong with you? The things that you
I
put
am
up is wild.
I am off my meds, bro. I've been off my meds since Atlanta. It's worse.
Okay, so what was your favorite episode? Season 3 and then overall. That's a good one. That's a good one. Think about it. Think about it.
Season 3,
Mm-hmm.
it's the fairy episode.
That's what you're gonna stick with?
Yeah, I love it. The Shannon and Alyssa's they they're fun together. They're always a fun time. Even in like later episodes in season 3, where that poor girl got burned up in her shop. Is Phoebe annoying? Yes. But is Shannon like playing Prue? She's playing Big Sister so well in that episode. Like their chemistry for all the shenanigans, the he said, she said, the HR meetings, the all hands that we all skipped out on, for all that shit that was happening behind the scenes, the chemistry and the growth in Phoebe and Prue's relationship from season 1 to season 3 is beautiful. That is a highlight. So I don't like. Yeah, I'm gonna have a shopping trip with the sister I kind of like.
That was a good episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it is, and how fun and goofy they are in the fairy episode. They're just that's like as if like their both inhibitions are down. I can actually like you, and be silly and goofy. Don't you love being silly and goofy with what's her like name for her? I don't remember. I was like, I can't say that one. With tramp stamp, because she got a tramp stamp.
Okay.
I'm gonna like retweet the photo
Oh my goodness.
with this sound clip. Anyway, yeah, don't you love having fun with tramp stamp? Like silly, goofy.
I don't know. I don't know. This
You're
is.
a hater. You're a
I'm a
hater.
hater. I'm a
You're a
hater.
hater. You're a fucking
I would
hater.
say. I
I I may be an old West Indian woman, but you're an old West Indian hater.
saw my grandmother. I'm okay with that. Totally okay. I
So we
struggled, I think, through season three a lot
Yeah, you did. You know
because
what?
I it held a special place.
I'm
And
sorry.
rewatching it critically destroyed that for me. So if I was to say that I had a favorite episode, it wouldn't necessarily be because of the episode itself, but because of the acting, and that
Hmm.
would be All Hell Break Loose.
I mean, I wanted to say that, but that's a cheat. Like everybody's gonna say, "All hell breaks loose." Okay,
Well, I
but
mean, if you're a Proof fan, then it wouldn't be your favorite episode.
I mean, acting. Because even honestly, watching her, it's a non-skip episode. Like even if you like, you're the biggest Proof fan,
Now you skip it all the time. I skip it all
coward,
the time. I'm
coward.
a punk. I'm a punk.
But no, it. All hell breaks loose. I feel like if your episode is entitled "All Hell Breaks Loose," it has to be a good episode. Like you can't
I mean,
Supernatural.
but this is Charmed, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they have disappointed us before. Okay, so what is your worst episode of the season?
Mm. What is it? This season? What do we do this season? There's so many.
So you
Uh,
have the one with the birds and the wolf. You
okay,
have
the wolf. No, the yeah, it was the bird and the wolf. That one was fun because the villain, he was fun. He was like season three had fun villains. You had um Shadow, aka Kenny from Scream, who dies.
mm-hmm.
You had the stockbroker.
Mm-hmm. He was
You
funny.
He was funny. You Cole. Um
Death.
uh Death.
Death is
Uh
fun. Ooh.
yeah. Who
The
else? Who
ice
else?
cream man.
The ice cream man.
We all scream for ice cream.
No, that was that tall bald man. And then the creeper who was like, "Do you
I
know the
know.
special truck?"
No, I'm saying, but like the whole premise behind it, right? Where the ice
Oh,
cream truck.
the
Yeah,
kids.
that's the worst episode. It was her father's a piece of shit.
Daddy.
That's that to me. That's the worst episode that we've done this season.
Yeah, because ain't nothing topping the pizza clay.
Nothing, nothing.
Nothing stopping pizza clay. Yeah, yeah. The ice cream man is definitely that's a filler. So yeah, that was definitely
But
a
it was
filler.
a bad filler because you can have good filler. Like Supernatural had good filler episodes that were. It did have its rough points,
Hmm.
but they do filler episodes. I think really well, and that's something that Charmed struggle with.
I I know it's because of the lack of consistent writers.
Right, right.
I feel like that's a lazy answer, but it's the answer nonetheless.
Nonetheless, so walking out of the final episode, what are your feelings? So I can't stroke my straw, but you can stroke the sword.
Because it was hurting my ears. You don't hear squeak 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 squeak
Oh, you know what I realized? The
squeak
straw is
squeak.
right next to the mic. That's why I'm like, how did you hear it? But that makes sense. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
see? Yeah. Um, we could have had it all, but she was rolling in the hay. Rolling in some fucking hay.
Did you not learn anything from Natalie? Anything?
Absolutely not. Like, cause even Natalie was fun. Like, she's supposed to be the enemy, but let's be honest, she was fun. Oh, you just gonna levitate, twirl, bitch, and twirl and twirl.
I think I stand firmly in my ground, especially after this episode, that they should have all had their own white lighter. It would have
Yeah,
never have happened.
yeah.
I
The
and
only way that the only way that this would have happened if they all had their own white lighter is somebody goes after Phoebe.
I think Prue's white lighter though would have been stuck up. I would have been. I told you not to fucking demon.
Yes, Prue's white lighter would have been a little bit of Giles with a
Yes,
sorry, a lot of bit of Giles with a little bit of Wesley.
I love Wesley.
These motherfuckers are snoring mad hard as if they have a job, as if they have done anything but terrorize my entire fucking day. It's like, why is there snoring that's coming from this area? But yeah, yeah, that would have been fun. But as we know, they cheap over there, so they didn't have the budget for all of that.
And that's something that I'm trying to still grapple with, especially after the Natalie episode.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't the three most powerful witches each have their own white lighter?
Yes. Why are you treating the three most powerful witches of all time thus far? Because they kids then surpass them, whatever. Um,
Speaking of, we'll save that for that. Because is that misogynistic writing?
it's all misogynistic writing. Have you not seen how season 3 ended?
No, I get that. I get that. But if they're supposed, right, the Hallow line is always women, blah, 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 blah. And then they finally have boys and they're supposed to be amazing. Fuck out of here.
Well, the first one out the batch is like a demon, so
You're right. Well, he don't ever make it though. He don't make it. He don't make it. But he was. That's one of my favorite episodes when she has that little evil demon penis. That is one of my favorite episodes, and I've watched that recently, and it still makes me laugh.
you never liked him anyway. Uh, it's so disappointing because even when you peel back I've been watching so many dark and depressing comedies. I mean, like comedies, dark and depressing
Documentaries.
shows. Yeah. So it's not surprising that when you peel back the very flimsy layer of like being a feminist and girl power, it's all men behind the curtain, you know, being the villains that they are, and it sucks that this show that has been a safe space for women, for gays, for theys, like the zers, sirs, all that, everybody in between. It's been a safe space because of that. We're gonna put women first, women empowerment. These are the three baddest bitches you've ever seen beating men up every week. And when you peel back that layer, it's all a lie. It's all a lie.
And
It's
maybe
all
that's
a
what it is.
lie.
Maybe I remember looking fondly. I mean, I've said this multiple times. I love me a good smutty evil romance. So
Mhm.
I've always looked fondly on Cole and Phoebe
Mhm.
and her kind of shedding the whole. I mean, she's never really a good girl, but if you want me to fight your war, then I have to fight your war on my own terms.
Mhm.
But then watching the last episode and her completely not only shirking her responsibility, but putting her sisters in danger because there was no power of three. The source is still around. You know, you're dumb. It shows no growth from the
Yeah.
Phoebe that took the midnight train to Georgia after Graham's died.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't. It still is very where we watch Piper. I mean, and you and I have completely argued over Piper and being the child who is responsible and not wanting to fight.
Mhm.
And you've watched that growth between season one and season three. And guys, the only argument that we have ever had has been over Char. But I don't see any growth. You even see growth in Prue, right? Not being so stuck up. I mean, she has like, setbacks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
she's always gonna be a Molly. You're a Molly is always gonna Molly.
it was almost disappointing that here we are, what, 66 episodes in, and there's been no growth. It's almost feels like she backslid because it's not like Cole was calling for her, right? Save me, come help me, I'm stuck.
Not
This
like
man
he
was
exactly,
chilling.
not like he did in that movie episode where he haunted. Hey, I'm back, boo. I suppose
Yeah,
you know I'm here for you whenever you ready.
right. He was chilling. Like you took it upon yourself to go and hunt down a man who was chilling. He wasn't even looking for you. He wasn't even looking for you.
It's I was telling Jose this earlier, but as a palate cleanser, and I'm pretty sure I said this last week in the episode, I'm watching Sex in the City. And watching Carrie and watching Phoebe at the same
I'm like, how
time.
was that a palate cleanser? Because Carrie is so bad.
No, watching no. I don't feel bad. Like Carrie, like everyone wants me to feel. Like, everyone wants to hate Carrie Bradshaw. Like we don't know a Carrie Bradshaw. We all know. We all know that
Right,
shawty who
right.
moved from wherever the hell she was from. In Carrie Bradshaw's case, it was Connecticut, and rebranded herself as like a New York girl with a whole. No, you didn't. And like all that shit. We all know that bitch. It just because she a phony, she a flop. It just took her a while to get chose, and look who chose her.
Eden still gave his ex-wife money in the will.
Because I was just watching the episode where she has to give a she has to read a poem at homegirl from True Blood at her wedding. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and the only reason Big wanted to go to this wedding, the only fucking reason he wanted to go to this wedding was to make fun of her. Because she was writing the poem in bed and he was like, this poem fucking sucks. Were you reading this? And he says to her face, I won't, like, I want to watch you read this poem, this shitty fucking poem in front of all of New York's elite. He don't want to, like, he wanted to go to that wedding to mock you. And then you surprised when he don't want to put his name on the card. His first question was, how they get my name? Who told, how they know about me, Carrie? What's going on? I just told you this like 2 days ago that I want to come laugh at you at this wedding. How they know my name, bitch? She
We could
deserves
talk. I
all of
mean,
that.
that's a whole nother.
You can, but you see, like she
But when we're
watching
talking
her,
about the fate of the world,
yeah, it's like Cole and Mr. Big are the same fucking person because Cole is a demon who was sent here to ruin slash kill you, and Mr. Big is a man that ruined you. He made you a joke multiple times. Had you over here in restaurants, flipping over chairs, knocking over silverware, almost falling down the stairs, yelling at people. You're supposed to be the ultimate socialite. Yo, if Perez Hilton was around at this time, if TMZ was around when she was making a scene in that restaurant, ugh, 40-year-old loser, Carrie Bradshaw.
You think they got demon gossip pages?
Yes.
Somebody has been making fun of Phoebe because I don't. This is what happens when you don't have
They
your
were
mommy or
making
your like,
fun. They were making fun of Phoebe in the beginning, and then they started making fun of both of them.
both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. It just left
And Perez
a
Hilton is the
sore
one
taste
behind
in my mouth.
it. It
That
all
man is
comes
a demon.
together. Yeah.
It just left a sore taste in my mouth.
Allegedly, because I think he sues people.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's the AKA for the episode. Allegedly.
It just leaves a sore taste in my mouth. You watch your sister get blasted through a wall, and nothing triggers. You don't have any PTSD of watching Andy die. No PTSD from nothing. It's just another
And
day in San Francisco. Let me
that's
go.
what that's what I'm saying. That's why it suffers. That's why it sucks. Cause I'm not even gonna say her name. I have fought men with this girl. I have run from the cops on roofs from this girl. I mean, with this girl. I It's no man left behind until we know we good. Like I'm not leaving you until I know that we're all good. Hell, when we were in our drinking fun days, she may have had a concussion, but she made it to the house. And to be clear, our friend was really, really like, she thick. And I'm tiny. And she tiny too. She try to lie about it sometimes, but she tiny. She only like a little bit of tinier, like a little bit of taller than me. But she tiny too. And two tiny people can't carry a giant. Especially when
It
these
was
two
rough.
tiny people are drunk as hell.
It was rough. It was rough.
But
But you
exactly.
see what I'm saying? It was still no man left behind.
Exactly. You telling me you have to cry for Leo because for whatever reason, hold up. When
Hold
Ames
up.
was gutting homegirl and he was falling down the fucking stairs like he was having his first fucking period, he was like, "Oh, I can't handle it." Your wife, your wife, your wife. We we literally see you have your first fucking period a few episodes ago over a charge being in danger, over a charge getting hurt. Imagine that's your wife. That's childbirth for you, and you didn't feel nothing. There was no urge for you to get down there, up there, wherever the fuck you were at. Like the fuck. So it's very serious, and your sister. You know what? Phoebe not taking it seriously. Leo not taking it seriously. Who the fuck is taking
I'm
it seriously?
I'm gonna give it to Leo because Leo said he didn't want to go. He said it did not make any sense. Do you not just see what happened? Let me not go. I don't want to go. I the one time Leo was smart about everything and said, I don't want to go. Something worse can happen. You cannot hear me when I'm down here. The elders just are I cannot feel good about this relationship. The relationship is drenched in blood. How could you ever think that it was going to work? How could you ever think it was going to work?
A few weeks ago on the podcast, I made the comparison of Balthazar being Joe from You, and he literally is Joe from fucking You. That's why I think that was also the thing that bothered us a lot in the series. I mean, recapping season 3 is Cole literally tried to end your family line. He has sent multiple demons after you.
Multiple.
He himself has come after you, and you just like, that's fine and all, but I still want that dick. I still love him. Like, there was never really a pause because you faked his death, and you never, like, we never really saw Phoebe come to terms with the fact of all the shit that he really did. Like, yes, like, she was like, "Oh, you betrayed me," but
That dick though.
not just that, but the levels of betrayal. Because
She had the cops after her.
going back to the episode where Prue has her stalker, that he turned all y'all against Prue, and she was right. He really fractured the bond in your, like, he fractured your sisterly bond, and you still were just like, but that dick though, but that dick. While I understand that you are going to go back to your toxic man, we've all gone back with a toxic man after we've broken up with them, whatever. I'm not haranguing her for that. But there's always a real reflection in that time. There's a real reflection on what led to that breakup, why you had to break up. The only thing this girl reflects on is the love of it all. Not
Yeah.
how that love affected her sisters, her magic, like her livelihood, her sister's livelihood, her, like, the traumas could have been taken out by Abby, all because you chose to believe up. Prue literally set a trap for a demon, and then the demon got caught in the trap, and you were like, "Well, why? Well, why would you? Why would you do that? You hurt my man." Blah 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 blah. And you, not to be that person, but at this point, we are to believe that Cole is human, and Crystal zapped him, and this lawyer doesn't further investigate.
Nope.
Nobody,
Nope.
nobody brings that up. He's
Mm-mm.
Prue had many. I'm not gonna say that because that was probably one of, like, the many off-screen arguments that Prue had, because that's the fact she said it. She said it. She literally said, "I set a trap for a demon, and he got caught." He's my district attorney, okay? And we saw it with Andy. As much as Andy was like, "I'm gonna, like, bend the rules or whatever," he still was a cop about this shit. You
Mm.
never saw that with fucking Cole, and that wasn't even like a, "Hey, hey, maybe you're not." I understand on the bigger scale, it did a lot for Alyssa and for Holly, and eventually Rose, when it comes to, like, producing credits, directing credits, blah 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 blah. Understand? And so, in, like, in that regard, yes, it still holds up to the feminist test, but it doesn't, because
They don't. At this point, very little of their conversations we seem to revolve around anything but men. So it
yeah,
doesn't. There's a test
it
for it, and I
doesn't
can't
pass
think of it.
the Bendel test or the Bechtel test,
The,
whatever. I know it starts with a
yeah.
B.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and I
Mm-mm.
think that's maybe why that test started getting very popular. Because while I don't think that they anticipated podcasts and a podcast of this genre happening when they were doing Charmed, but they had to have known at a certain point, like, oh, this is going to be studied, and they still didn't care.
It was written by a man, so
Yeah.
What are you most excited about for season 4?
You actually, you don't like Paige. You're not a
I don't
you're not
like
a
Paige.
you're you're a Paige hater. Down with Paige, all that fun shit. And I'm excited to see your relationship with Paige as we enter season 4.
I know because it's so. One of my big beefs with Paige is the fact that here she is, she's coming in new, and she has all these thoughts about Cole. And granted, Cole does some really fucked up shit to her.
Yeah, doing the fucking artwork for that episode was like, God damn.
I also find her kind of whiny more than Piper. So it'll be it now that I'm seeing Phoebe in a whole different light. And again, my feelings might change
Yeah.
because I do love Balthazar and can't take that away from me. Balthazar can do no wrong.
No, I
He's a
know.
demon, and I know that, and I love him. I love him. Um, it'll be interesting to see the next few seasons
Hmm.
under this new light.
Yeah. Um, while it sucks that Prue dies, I do appreciate that it finally brought a darkness to the show.
Yes,
I don't know why my voice is cracked, but there's a darkness that just comes when you lose one third of the original charm ones.
it doesn't stay though. It doesn't stay.
It stays for about 2 seasons.
Yeah, uh, yeah.
All of season 4,
All season 4 is dark.
the first half of season 5, if memory serves.
I am excited for Holly's acting in the very first episode because it's not acting.
I know. I guys, I feel like I'm gonna watch 1 and 2, especially 1, so much in the upcoming weeks. I've already watched it because once you're on streaming, you TNT has also spoiled me. Once you go from all hell breaks loose, you
It
immediately
goes
go
right
right
into it.
into it. Yeah, so you can't not go right into it. And watching it for shits and gigs was fun. I still kind of had my media literacy hat on and my podcast hat on. So it was still kind of, but not in that way, more like, oh, it's so good. Because even Phoebe and her, like, Phoebiness isn't that bad until,
She wears the coat. I like the coat. Any other thoughts?
uh, I think, wow, season 2 just didn't happen. Because what do we get in season 2? What? Because
Dan.
we get Dan, but Dan is a long road to Leo, and who in the fuck wants to discuss that? Dude, Dan, we get Jenny in this long slug through. Is it Dan or is it Leo? Is it Dan or is it Leo? Is it Dan or is it
It was
Leo?
definitely a sophomore slump.
Yeah. And I just, you can't make me ever believe that a woman who wanted security and love and a normal life was looked at the white lighter with no with no initiative, no drive, no oomph, no riz, no.
He brought her back.
Hmm?
He brought her back from eating the exotic fruit that wasn't really exotic, and it was a wrap.
And okay, you could have just swapped that out with another white lighter who has spent 2 years with a charge and gotten bonded. And like, you know what? It really fucking sucks that the powers that be, and I think this is where we're gonna end it. It really fucking sucks that the powers that be treat the charm ones like they hoes.
But they are.
I mean, not like
The fuck
that.
you mean?
Not like
I
that,
mean,
but like, you were really gonna let the power of three die off some fruit? Off some fruit?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
We've had this conversation multiple times, right? If I was going to be our charm one for any side, it would clearly be the source versus the elders. The source was like, I know everything about you and your bitch. I can smell her. And on top of that, her sister about to die. How come the elders don't have any of this information?
How come Leo don't know that Shax being an upper level demon would need the power of three? Like,
But
yeah,
they
the
even said it. They even said, do we, did they say something to the effect of like, do we need the power of three or something like that?
he was like
It's,
the book was written by witches who didn't have your power, so maybe that's why they had a spell. And mm, I really, I'm sorry if he is the source's number one assassin. I don't think
assassinate this.
that's the AKA. That's the AKA. Assassinate this puss. I'm gonna figure out how to like write it so it doesn't get flagged. But assassinate this
Dollar
puss.
signs.
um,
You know what? If I was charm woman, I would be a whore because they had some hot ass demons, and I'd kill him after. Kill him with the puss, and then kill him with my power.
oh, y'all like to send secret spies? I got a secret spy.
I
Secret
just,
spy.
I don't understand. You got somebody like Grams out here, and that's who you like, and then you still fall for a demon. Like, why you ain't get your licks? And then kill him, and then moved on.
Why didn't we ever use the magic we learned when we went back in time to protect our house?
You've said this multiple times on this episode. Multiple times. Because they don't care. And
um,
I honestly think too, it's not until Prue dies where they're like, "Oh shit, maybe we're not as invincible as we thought."
which is
Because
wild
clearly the
because they've
elders were
died
gonna
numerous fucking times. But this is the one you
right, but
can't
when you
take
die
back.
numerous times, right, when you die numerous times and get brought back, is it really dying or is it just a long nap?
It was the heat of the moment, telling me what your heart meant. The heat of the moment.
So on that note,
Because, like you said it, I'm like, I get your point. Because mystery spot. Um, this was supposed to be a story about sisterhood, and I'm not feeling like the sisterhood or whatever the quote is. Um, yeah, man. Honestly, the only person who grows is Prue, and the fact that we lose her fucking sucks.
I think Piper
Because
grows a little bit.
Piper is still anxious and neurotic, and she spent the first half of season one becoming comfortable with being a witch, and then the second half in love with Leo.
But she don't complain about having a fight. Gross.
Uh, okay, you know what? I'll take that back. I mean, Piper, she quit Quake, opened the well. She quit Quake because her sisters pushed her, like gave her the wings for her to fly and soar or whatever. Yada yada yada. Um,
And Phoebe did get her degree. She got her degrees and
you know
shit
what? I got interviewed about the
by a
podcast.
vampire.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to come back. And I was asked why Charm still holds up, and I'm thinking about that now, and I was like, you know what? It does. It like we both graduated later in life, like Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
The fashion, the beautiful
Mm-hmm.
gowns. Um, and while I said this, like, while it is a very colonized version of my history, it was still very good to see it in a positive
Mhm.
light. And
Mhm.
and that's like the double edged sword, ha ha ha, with colonization, because like, oh yeah, I can see why you appreciate it, but you fucking
Right,
bastardized.
right.
Um, because protecting your house with apples and with earth and oranges and clothes and blah blah blah. Walking your house after 11, you better walk in backwards so no jumbie gets you. Make sure you have your water by the door. It's
Mhm.
it's the same thing, and it's being able to see that on screen that's just keeping that show alive for me in that sense. But golly, it's so hard sometimes. It's really hard. But
I mean, in that sense, I think that's one of the reasons why 14, 15-year-old me loved Phoebe. You had somebody here who was perfectly okay with not following what she had to follow and not listening to the rules and following her destiny with everything else being damned, and it didn't matter who she hurt or who got their feelings hurt, because this was a destiny that she saw herself having, and that was destiny that she was going to get. And I think the younger version of me was like, wow, it didn't matter. Like, that was what she was going to do, and that was what she was going to accomplish, and it was great. And I think older me, who I think I have accomplished many things that I have set out to accomplish, even though it was later in life for whatever the reasons were, is like, you could have still possibly have done that. Or if all of these people were going to be hurt and burned
hmm
and murdered, maybe that wasn't the best destiny for you. And you don't ever see her get any consequences from that. I mean, outside the fact that it doesn't end up working.
hmm
But I mean, at that point, Prue's dead and gone, right? So it doesn't
yeah.
matter. There's really no. She was able to follow her heart, no matter what the
hmm
consequences were, whether it's for her or for somebody else. And at the end, she gets Coop.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I think as an older person, knowing that like every step you make has this like ripple effect, it kind of bothers me that there are no consequences for Phoebe. I mean, like, she becomes a siren and stuff like that, but it's these little drops in a bucket and not like a
hmm
big wave that really kind of. I don't think you ever really see her grow up until we get to like the whole Billy situation, and then even
Yeah.
then, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because you're like, when I was a kid, I gravitated towards Phoebe. When I was a kid, I definitely gravitated towards Prue, because seeing somebody so assured of themselves, and I know I'm good at this, I'm gonna do it, and
mm-hmm,
you're just gonna have to like fucking eat it. That confidence, ugh, ugh. I needed it at the time. I probably still kind of need some of it now.
mm-hmm,
But that was so. That was like the first, not the first time, because we definitely had Maxine Shaw. But that was just another version of Maxine Shaw that I just had to like grab onto and gravitate to,
mm-hmm,
because when she was at Buckland, she was the bad bitch at Buckland's. And let's be honest, she quit.
right,
They were going under. She saved them and then was like, I'm out.
I'm out.
Bye. When we went to the future, she owns Buckland's. Prue was that
Mm-hmm,
bitch. She's always been that bitch. And
mm-hmm,
that is so fun to watch and aspire to. And then now, with my photography and her with her photography, it's very weird how things parallel. But for her to let go of that Buckland rigidity and lean into the creativity of it all and the beautifulness of life while still kind of having her morals because when she was making out with that guy while Phoebe was on her hiatus from Cole, she was like, I don't want some perfect guy. I'm not. I don't. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody to have fun, but I'm smart. I can't turn my brain off. I and
Yeah.
these boys suck. And Norm, she was the original Miranda Hobbs. Okay, without all the extra shit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how I think react to Phoebe and then Paige and all of that.
Yeah,
Because God, Paige, and especially next season, she just annoys the fuck out of me.
it's very. It's you've seen this in the shelter. It's old cat, aka Piper, and teenager cat, aka Phoebe, with the puppy, or sorry, with the new kitten. Because when we
Hmm.
see Paige come in, she's so excited to just absorb this role of being an older sister, not realizing
Hmm.
that you being the older sister now makes you a middle sister, and that's not fun. That's no good. It makes me sad that we we don't play into the sisterhood of it all. Say what you want about Supernatural and Sam and Dean forever sacrificing themselves for one another.
Hmm.
That's brotherhood. Like
Yeah.
that that commitment to I like
I
if it
think
means
though that's why the season finale does well because I think we finally, even though it's not all three of them, right? But
mhm
how Prue reacts to Piper dying
mhm
is what we don't. I don't know. It's always, and not to say that it's always like every girl for themselves, but that like
mhm
visceral reaction of Piper dying, and then on the flip
and
side for season one, ugh.
it's so funny because you don't even when it's Piper, she don't cry. When it's Prue, she don't cry. This girl don't like neither one of her sisters either. No wonder her and Leo get along. Um, it's with Piper dying. It it's not just that you see. It's beautiful and here where I come into like my nerd bag. It's beautiful in the fact that it's a well timed shot because she snaps when immediately when she snaps, Piper gets shot. You don't know what's happening. You see the blood and you see her calling for Leo in vain. Like she knows it's like I know her subconscious knows that she can't get Leo, and I wish that she was able to like astral project into the underworld, even if it's for a second, just for her like a bloody astral projected Prue flashing and then going
Hmm.
back. Oh, that would have been so good. But the whole short story of Piper dying is beautiful. It's beautiful television, and I wish we got more of that. Not the Piper dying, but the level of
Yeah.
acting, the storytelling in that sequence. It sucks because I I hate to like always compare it to Supernatural, but even down to Baby, there's a connection there.
Yeah.
There's a connection between Sam and Dean. Dean in the car. Hell, Sam had his own like car and his own baby moment for a second. You
Hmm.
made you made the audience bond with an inanimate object. You made an inanimate object the fourth brother. And if we could have gotten a drop of that storytelling on Charmed, and I know we get it a lot in season 4, but we have 8 seasons, and god damn, why we only get
It
it?
doesn't. It's not continuous.
Yeah. Um, but that is it because God, we've been chatting,
We've been
and I think we
chatting.
have to chat some more. Not tonight, but maybe
No,
sometime.
maybe.
Ooh, I would say not Balthazar because you can't. That's a cheat for you. Best demon, worst
Okay.
demon.
Shax. What the fuck you mean?
You're a whore.
Shax.
Shax
For
and
both.
okay.
Shax. Shax
Um,
because it's Shax.
yeah.
And then Shax because he kills crew. I was like, ooh, she didn't say Shax.
Um, I would say Barbus and Homeboy from Fast and the Furious. Dreamweaver.
um,
um, yeah. Also She Wolf, but that was also a fun episode. Anyway, um, so would just be no wait. Um, Photography will happen this week, so look out for that in the upcoming weeks. Maybe in something else that happens, I'll have the cocktail that appears. You'll see it, maybe possibly. There's that. Um, I'm like, what else we have? Like, I'm like, there's things to plug. I can't remember.
there's things to
Um,
plug.
we have 3 full fucking seasons now, guys. Enjoy.
Tell your
Um,
friends.
tell your friends. To everybody who has left us. 5 stars, 4 stars. Love you. Continue rating. Continue telling your friends to rate. Um, I know somebody wrote us an Apple review a year ago. I'm sorry if we never brought that up. I have bad tizzy, and she does too. And sometimes we get caught up in episodes and we try to bring stuff up, and it just never happens. But to everybody who's ever left us a review, we
We
appreciate you.
appreciate it.
Um, yeah, season 4 is coming. We're trying to be better with our hiatuses, but life's.
Life.
Yeah.
Tired. I gotta work. Supposed to be going to Canada for work. I'm tired.
Mm,
I'm so tired. Um, I think that's it.
yeah. Thank you for 3 seasons
For being a friend. Oh,
and being some hoes. So much as be hoes.
and some hoes be Phoebe.
Lust spells don't work. They just don't.
I mean, they do. But is it
But
really the outcome that you want?
when you're doing a lust spell, make sure you have an intended target, or results may vary. Some
Have
would
you
just
done a
be
lust
hoe.
spell recently? That was
Um,
saying. Have you done a lust spell
this
recently?
is my sex
Are
cup.
you nasty? Ew. On that note, goodbye, guys.
That's the AKA sex cup.
Ew. Ew.